In 2008, the global financial system collapsed. 8 million Americans lost their jobs, 10 million families lost their homes, trillions of dollars of ordinary people's savings wiped out. The banks that caused it were bailed out with taxpayer money, and not a single senior banker went to jail, not one. Here is the real story of what happened and why the people responsible never faced consequences. To understand 2008, you need to understand one product: the mortgage-backed security. Banks discovered they could give mortgages to people who could not afford them, bundle thousands of those mortgages together, sell them to investors as a safe investment, and collect fees at every step of the process. Rating agencies, paid by the same banks, stamped these toxic products as AAA safe, the highest possible safety rating. Banks knew the mortgages inside were worthless. They sold them anyway. Some banks, including Goldman Sachs, were simultaneously betting that these same products would fail. They were selling a product to clients while secretly betting that product would collapse. This is called a conflict of interest. In most industries, it is illegal. On Wall Street in 2008, it made billions. When the bomb finally exploded in September 2008, the U.S. government had a choice: let the banks fail, or bail them out with public money. They chose the bailout, $700 billion of taxpayer money. The man who designed the bailout was Henry Paulson, the U.S. Treasury Secretary. Before becoming Treasury Secretary, Paulson was the CEO of Goldman Sachs, one of the banks that received bailout money. The same Goldman Sachs that had been betting against the very products that caused the crash. Within a year of receiving taxpayer bailouts, Wall Street banks paid out $140 billion in bonuses. $140 billion in bonuses to the same people who caused the crash, paid for, in part, by the taxpayers whose savings they had destroyed. The U.S. Department of Justice investigated the 2008 crash for years. They brought cases against some banks. The banks paid fines. The fines were paid by shareholders, not the individuals responsible. Not one senior Wall Street executive went to prison for their role in the 2008 financial crisis. Not one. Meanwhile, 10 million ordinary families lost their homes. The system was not broken in 2008. It worked exactly as designed. The profits were privatized, the losses were socialized, and the people who designed it walked away richer than before. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to see it. And subscribe, because every week I expose the dark truths about the world that most people never learn. See you in the next one.